Hello everyone, back to tuning into today's second video. We're doing JMA Friday for today's second video. So, usually on Friday we do JMA Friday. Haven't done one for a few weeks actually, but I thought we'd bring it back for this week. And I shall get on with your JMA Friday in a moment. Just say about first, video sales, our 6 UK weather forecast, and we've got 10 to 14 day coming up imminently as well. Please like, share and subscribe, and thank you so much for doing that. Right, so we're going to start off with a week 1 500 millibar height anomaly from the Arctic and from the North Pole view down. So these are broken down into week periods. Of course, that's the Arctic just there, by the way, and the big latitudes kind of through here. Went a bit wrong, didn't it? UK and Ireland just there. So these are broken down into week periods. 500 millibar height anomalies. The first week period will be taking us from today, the 21st, through to the 28th of November. The next week sees a trough of low pressure sitting to the south of the east, a ridge out in the Atlantic and up towards Greenland, places on the cool side of the jet stream, the cold side of the jet stream, under that trough of low pressure. Week 2 is going to be the 28th of November to the 5th of December, with a blocking area of high pressure away to the north, but ridging down into Northern Europe. Low pressure is out to the west, and that brings the wind in from a southerly or a southeasterly direction. So that should be turning milder, of course, with a trough of low out to the west, turning more unsettled as well. And then weeks 3 and 4 will take us from the 5th through to the 19th of December. High pressure then blocking to the north and to the northeast. Low pressure is out to west. It probably still keeps us mild, bringing the wind up from a southerly direction, and unsettled with low pressure coming in from off the Atlantic there. So this is the tropical and the mid-latitude view, just to confirm that interpretation. You can find in the top right-hand corner of the chart as you look at it on this view. Reminder of the week 1 500 millibar height anomaly with that trough of low through the western and northern portion of Europe. Temperature anomalies are coming out a little bit below average still in the week ahead, and also rather unsettled as well with above average precipitation. Of course, there could be some wind shear potential there, especially over northern high ground. Week 2 is the 28th of November, 5th of December, and this week building up higher pressure way to the east, low pressure out to the west, brings the wind up from a southerly or a southeasterly direction. The temperature anomaly is slightly above average, although not all that excessive, and still looking rather on the wetter than average side as well, so another unsettled week to begin December. And then weeks 3 and 4 will be the 5th through to the 19th of December. Low pressure out in the Atlantic, and again we'll probably bring up the wind from a southerly southeasterly direction with higher pressure away to the north and to the northeast. Temperature anomaly is slightly above average, so relatively mild first half to December here, JMA, and also looking on the wetter than average side as well. So really a mild and wet first half to December, rather typical, but December's recent. Well, that's the JMA. Let's see how the CFS-V2 compares. Again, these are 500 millibar height anomalies, and they're broken down to week periods. The first week period will take us from the 20th to 26th of November. The next week, with a trough of low through the north and west Europe, and winds coming in from that northerly or northwesterly direction. Good agreement between JMA and the CFS for week 1. Now, week 2 is the 27th of November to 3rd of December. This is rather different, with a ridge building through the west of Europe up into the north of Europe as well. So high pressure taking over through western Europe now. Week 3 will be the 4th to the 10th of December. And check that out. High pressure begins to set up over Scandinavia, between Scandinavia and Iceland. And you'd expect that to be turning wind around to more of an easterly direction. And then week 4, which is the 11th to 17th of December, seems to be taking that high pressure into retrograde and moving towards Greenland and Iceland, and around that again we could bring a wind in for a rather cold east or northeasterly direction there. So becoming dry, but potentially becoming colder as December develops. So week 1 temperature anomaly for next week is colder than average, 20th, 26th of November. Week 2 is going milder. This is going to be the 27th of November to the 3rd of December. And we're going above average with the temperature anomaly there. Week 3 is the 4th through to the 10th of December, going slightly below average. Looks like much of Europe plunging into the freezer. And then week 4, that's a bit disappointing for cold here. So that's going to be the 11th, 17th December, and slightly milder than average. But cold looks like it's started to retreat back a little bit there. Not sure about that based on the position of high pressure, but anyway, that's what model's showing. And then week 1 precipitation from the CFS, it's the 26th of November. By the way, this is yesterday's CFS update. I'll show you the latest weeklies from CFS in today, 10 to 14 days shortly, as I didn't do a 10 to 14 day yesterday. But average, rather wetter than average there for week 1. Week 2 is going drier than average to the south, wetter than average in the North Atlantic. Week 3 is looking drier than normal as high pressure takes over. And then lastly, week 4 is drier than average to the north and wetter than average just to the south. I think average 2 models per surface is definitely the most interesting from a cold perspective, but JMA looks much more low pressure dominated and so forth, and therefore milder and wetter than the CFS, which looks colder and drier as we go through December. So December uncertainty with JMA Friday, I think. Well, we're going to be back shortly in 10 to 14 days, so come back in a bit for JMA Friday this week. That's all now, and thanks for watching.